Right now at noon, a head-on crash claims the life of a southeast Kansas man over the weekend.
And we've got skies eventually clearing out later this evening and cold temperatures hanging around. A look at your forecast coming up.
Plus, an Oklahoma Sheriff's Department is updating their fleet of patrol cars, why they say the change is needed.
The 4 states' most watched news starts now.
Police are still searching for the suspect involved in a violent assault yesterday in Arkansas. This is KOAM News at noon. I'm Samantha Walker. Police in Springdale, Arkansas were alerted to a disturbance early yesterday morning. Officers arrived to find a female suffering multiple stab wounds. She was rushed to a hospital and her status is currently unknown. The suspect has been identified as 25-year-old Ladarius Green, who fled the scene with a young passenger. Their car crashed in Fayetteville and Green fled the scene. However, the juvenile was still in the vehicle and was able to be reunited with his family. Investigators believe this is an isolated incident and there is no threat to the public. Now here.
After a bitterly cold start to the day, bitterly cold conditions continuing out there. This is a look from earlier this morning, downtown Pittsburgh, those cloudy skies. Every so often you can see a camera shaking with those gusty winds. And again, temperatures early this morning, only into the 20s and teens. We had wind chills near zero. MoDOT camera, 20th and range line in Joplin from earlier this morning as well. Still those cloudy skies. They'll be gradually clearing. Take a look at yesterday, just the opposite of what the record low was in 1984 of -8. It started yesterday at 8, only made it up to 39, so about 6 degrees off average out there. And our temperature trend, again, we've been below normal, well below normal today, and we're going to start warming up at least for a little bit before we see another cool down and maybe even some snow chances later this week. As for the rest of this evening, skies clearing out, temperatures gradually dropping back into the upper teens. We'll have southwest winds overnight about 5 to 10 miles an hour, so that'll keep our wind chills about 5 to 10 above zero. And as I mentioned, we start warming up tomorrow, a little breezy again, and maybe some snow chances later this week. We're going to break it all down for you here in just a few more minutes. Samantha?
Chris, thanks. A Neosho man was arrested again this week for possession of child pornography. Blake Altman, a registered sex offender, was arrested by the Newton County Sheriff's Office in Missouri on a warrant issued by Texas investigators. He's charged with promotion of child sexual abuse material. Altman pled guilty in 2017 to the charges of receiving and distributing child pornography. He was sentenced to 6 years in prison, but was out by February 2021. This investigation is ongoing. A head-on crash claims the life of a southeast Kansas man just west of Pittsburgh Saturday afternoon. The Kansas Highway Patrol says 37-year-old Craig Sylvie of Cherokee died at the scene. Troopers say Sylvie was driving a Ford pickup and passing multiple vehicles at a high rate of speed when he collided head-on with a Chevy Malibu. The Malibu was driven by 16-year-old Layla Sharbut of Girard, who suffered minor injuries. A passenger in her vehicle, 48-year-old Heather Burgess, also of Girard, was seriously injured. Kansas Highway 126 was closed for nearly 3 hours as troopers investigated the fatal crash. A sheriff's department in Oklahoma is approved to purchase and replace used patrol vehicles. KOAM's Mitch Adams brings us more.
After using their fleet for the last 5 years, the Ottawa County Sheriff's Office has been approved to purchase up to 10 used patrol vehicles to update their fleet.
So we're taking a big portion of our sheriff's grant from this go-around and trying to replace the patrol vehicles. Hopefully, in the near future, we'll be able to replace our 5 admin vehicles, which consist of 3 or 4 unmarked detective vehicles.
Under Sheriff Ferdig told us that buying used vehicles gives the department more leeway with spending.
Buying used, we're able to save money and we're able to get more vehicles versus just maybe 2, possibly 3 brand new ones.
Patrol cars are vital for any police department, acting as a mobile workstation for many police officers. By buying more up-to-date vehicles, the department hopes to give their officers updated tools to work effectively.
It's just like any department across the nation. For a patrolman, I mean that's sometimes their office. They spend 8 hours to 12 hours, depending on the shift schedule, they spend it in that vehicle. That vehicle is a tool.
In Ottawa County, Oklahoma, Mitch Adams, KOAM News.
The Ottawa County Sheriff's Department is a recipient of the Sheriff's Funding Assistant Grant, with part of its funding being used for the purchase of these patrol vehicles. Carthage hosted the third annual bridal market over the weekend, bringing together roughly 30 vendors, offering just about everything a bride-to-be might need to plan a wedding. The event, organized by Uniquely Yours Events and Celebrations, along with Julie Paul Ream, was held at 407 South Garrison Avenue. Organizers described the bridal market as a mix between a traditional bridal expo and an indoor garage sale, with specialty vendors and individuals selling leftover wedding items all under one roof. The Pittsburgh Public Library hosts a special reading and discussion celebrating Kansas Matters, a new anthology of poetry and prose exploring what it means to call the Sunflower State home. The collection brings together some of Kansas's leading literary voices, reflecting on the land, identity, history, and hopes for the future. Well, a turkey calling competition took place Saturday in Grove, Oklahoma, where participants did their best calls to win prizes. The Ron Jordan Memorial Calling Competition showcases game calling talent from all over the country. Organizers say that people travel from all over the country, from Mississippi to Alabama to Arkansas, just to show off their calls and potentially take some prize money.
And they're going to win some prize money. So this is a community of people that travel the country and do this. We've got people from Mississippi, Alabama, Texas, Arkansas, Oklahoma. I don't know where all else, but these guys are a real tight-knit family. Good people.
The outdoor brand Mossy Oak served as one of the sponsors for the events, with division winners being given a Mossy Oak gift card as part of their winnings. Well, coming up, CBS News has confirmed the content of a message President Trump sent to Norway's Prime Minister, appearing to link his growing desire to seize control of Greenland to his failure to receive the Nobel Peace Prize. And later, we're making a Southwest sausage chili in the Mr. Food Test Kitchen. President Trump is escalating the standoff with European allies over Greenland, threatening new tariffs on some countries that oppose his plan. The president has said the island is needed for national security, but European leaders say the sovereignty of the self-governing territory that's part of the Kingdom of Denmark needs to be respected. Natalie Brand is at the White House with the latest.
A trade war is in no one's interest.
European leaders are pushing back as President Trump doubles down on his push to acquire Greenland, issuing a new threat to impose tariffs of up to 25% on key allies, including Denmark, France, and the UK, until a deal is reached.
Alliances endure because they're built on respect and partnership, not pressure.
Amid calls to de-escalate, Norway's prime minister confirmed he received a message from President Trump saying, in part, due to the decision to award someone other than himself the Nobel Peace Prize, he no longer feels an obligation to think purely of peace and can now think about what is good and proper for the United States.
We are not going to outsource our national security.
The Trump administration maintains it must control the strategic Arctic island to protect the U.S. from threats posed by China and Russia.
If there were an attack on Greenland from Russia, from some other area, we would get dragged in. So better now, peace through strength, make it part of the United States.
But lawmakers from both sides of the aisle said the standoff over Greenland is making the world less safe, and a bipartisan group just wrapped up a trip to Denmark to try and reassure allies in person.
Part of the point of this trip is to have a bipartisan group of members of Congress listen respectfully to our friends.
Greenland needs to be viewed as our ally, not as an asset.
Over the weekend, thousands of protesters demonstrated in Denmark and Greenland against President Trump's plan, saying the island is not for sale. Natalie Brand, CBS News, the White House.
Well, new CBS News polling shows opposition across party lines to taking over Greenland. 70% of Americans say they do not want the president using federal dollars to buy the territory, and an overwhelming 86% say they do not want him to invade using military force. Well, still to come on KOAM News at noon, Mr. Food.
If you think all chilies are created equal, you better think again, because we've got the lowdown on a great one.
And we are keeping an eye on some snow chances later this week. A little warmer tomorrow, much colder this weekend, hence those snow chances. A look at your forecast when we come back. Welcome back to the KOAM News at noon on a very cold day for us. Pretty cold over the weekend and a very cold Monday for us as well. Let's start with our look from earlier this morning in downtown Pittsburgh, where again, we had those cloudy skies out there. Those skies gradually clearing from north to south, which will certainly be nice. It won't make a difference temperature-wise, but at least we'll get some clearing to take place as we go through the rest of the afternoon and into the evening. And we'll still have those gusty north winds, so it's going to keep our wind chills about 5 to 10 above zero. But late this evening, let's say about 8, 9 o'clock, winds will actually become calm for a bit before switching out of the southwest after midnight. Now, overnight, those southwest winds only about 5 to 10, so that's why our wind chills won't have such a significant impact, even though we're going to be cold again tonight. We're still looking at wind chills tonight about 5 to 10 above zero, even though our temperatures drop into the upper teens simply because the winds aren't that big of a deal. But as we go through the morning Tuesday and into Tuesday afternoon, southwest winds begin to ramp up and they'll be gusting to 25. And we're going to have clear skies. We'll make it feel colder, but our temperatures at least will be a little warmer for Tuesday. And in fact, at least for a bit on Wednesday, they're going to be a little warmer as well. Could get some clouds Tuesday into early Wednesday, but they will clear out pretty quickly as well. And then we go into Wednesday afternoon, you see those winds shift, cold front comes through, we're going to start to have temperatures drop back off again, and we're going to get very cold once again heading into the upcoming weekend. So here's the other thing you're probably seeing a lot of on social media. It's something that we are watching very closely. TV stations down in Oklahoma City and Little Rock, actually, much further to our south, obviously, both kind of calling the same thing, the preparations for a winter storm down there. As for us, not quite to that level right at this time. We do have snow working in, at least chances for snow, about 3, 4 o'clock Friday evening, afternoon, and evening. So here's a look at that snow chance moving in. It lasts through about Saturday morning at about 10, 11 a.m., and then it's about done. Now, here's the thing. There are a lot of variables with this system. If it tracks a little further to the north, then our snow totals could be much higher. If it tracks a little further to the south, then obviously our snow totals could be much lower. I do think we are at least looking at some snow chances from Friday night into Saturday, but there's still a lot of questions and variables in play as to exactly how much snow we're going to get. So the computer data I just showed you is one possibility with some snow chances. Taking that same computer and what it thinks on snow totals comes up with this at this time. But bear in mind, this is going to change again tonight. It's probably going to change again tomorrow. But it is guessing at about 1 to 4 inches of snow. Could we get that range? I'd say it's possible. Could it be higher than that? Again, if this system tracks further north, it certainly could. Could it be considerably lower than that? Well, if that system takes a little further jog to the south, certainly so. So we are going to keep an eye on it. Don't buy all the bread and milk just yet, and take this again with a grain of salt. This is one computer's interpretation several days out, and it's going to change quite a bit between here and then. So we will keep you updated. Stay with the Skywatch weather team. We'll keep you up on everything you need to know with the potential for snow heading into Friday and Saturday. As for today, again, only making about the upper 20s out there for those highs, so barely above what our average low is. Thankfully, not a huge drop tonight, back around the upper teens. Tomorrow, closer to normal, upper 40s, but those southwest winds still breezy, gusting to 25. After that, we're again mild to start Wednesday. We get up to about 50. Temperatures begin dropping, and snow or not, we are going to get very cold again this weekend. Highs only about 20 on Saturday. So if we do see some snow, as you can see, it'll take it a minute before we start to see some melting, and looking at a return to the low 50s by the second half of next week. Samantha?
Sounds great, Chris. Thank you so much. Well, stick around. We're making Southwest sausage chili in the Mr. Food Test Kitchen. We're going to be right back. Well, during a cold season like this, what could be better than a nice hot bowl of your favorite soup or chili? Howard is showing us his recipe for Southwest sausage chili in the Mr. Food Test Kitchen.
Over the years here at the Test Kitchen, we've made lots of different types of chilies. We've made Texas style without any beans. We've made lighter versions using ground turkey and lots of veggies, and on and on. But today's recipe is a little different, and one that everyone who tried it loved. We start by browning some Italian sausage and a minced onion in a large pot. I'm using mild sausage, but if you want it a bit spicier, you can always use a hotter variety. After no pink remains and we've poured off any of the pan drippings, we stir in a couple cans of kidney beans that we've rinsed and drained, a can of corn, tomato sauce, some salsa, a bit of water, and the typical chili seasonings. We give this a quick stir and let it simmer until everything's heated through and all the flavors blend together. That's it. It's the seasonings in the sausage that makes this chili stand out from the crowd. And the fact that you can have a hot and hearty meal on the table in less than 30 minutes makes this even better. The super fast recipe for our Southwest sausage chili is online now to help you chase away those winter blues. I'm Howard in the Mr. Food Test Kitchen, where today we're looking for an easier way for you to say, ooh, it's so good.
You can find this recipe along with a lot more good food from the Mr. Food Test Kitchen online. Just go to our website at KOAMnewsnow.com. Now here's a look at the 4-state market prices.
All right, again, today still pretty cold out there, only making the upper 20s. We're going to go upper 40s, though, tomorrow, so at least a little more seasonable. Not bad for Wednesday. Cold front comes in, dropping our temperatures again. And as I mentioned, don't buy all the bread and milk just yet, but we do have those snow chances Friday into Saturday, and we'll keep a close eye on that for you. And again, snow aside, it's going to get very cold again. Temperatures back into the 30s and 20s into this weekend.
What do you have coming up for us tonight?
Tonight, more young adults here in the U.S. and around the world are being diagnosed with colorectal cancer. Scientists want to know why, and they're turning to historic archives for clues. Plus, Pitt State students volunteer across Pittsburgh for the 3rd annual MLK Junior Day of Service. And MLK Day celebrations continue with a lunch and learn event on the Dockham Drugstore sit-in. Hope you'll join us for those stories. A lot more, of course. It's coming up today on KOAM News at 5.
Those all sound great, Dad. Thank you so much. Well, that's the news for now. Thank you for joining us for KOAM News at noon. Have a great afternoon and a happy Martin Luther King Jr. Day.